Good day, YouTube. Happy Sunday. It's 28th of June 2020. And this is a lawn tractor I bought yesterday, yard sailing. Got one video up on it already, getting it running good and all that jazz. It is, I haven't looked it up. It's approximately a 2010 model John Deere la105. It's got a 19.5 horse Briggs Stratton engine in it. It's a 42-inch cut. And it's got some deck issues, so let's raise her up. I'll show you what's wrong with it and the plan to fix it. So, I understand the decks on these are supposedly they're fairly thick, but there's some weakness in the bracket system. Let me take you out of the stand, walk you around, show you what we're dealing with. We're dealing with that. Tech screws and angle brackets and so forth in a section of the deck that just doesn't look very good anymore. So I think because this is going to be a keeper mower for me, one I'm hanging on to, that we're going to pull this deck out of here. We're going to fix that correctly and make sure this deck's in really good shape, clean it up, lube it up, whatever it takes, and go from there. So let me put you on hold back in the stand. I'll get the I got a transmission jack to put underneath here to get that deck out of there nice and easy. We don't have to crawl around on the ground, and we'll get to getting. You know, as far as mower decks go, they actually might have taken a moment to engineer these where these things were easy enough to get to. Not too bad. So this arm right there hooks onto that right there, and there's a big pins, and then that black arm right there goes right there, pin. Let me take you around the front. Those are identical on the other side, by the way. We got this one up front. Sorry for the light. There we go. Goes to this guy right here, and then we have this. Let me go in the back. Show you how to route this. So there's this cable here. Okay, it was pinned onto that stand right there. So you pull the pin, pull this out of that stand. It's attached to this larger spring, and that spring's got a hook on it, and it went forward of this little spring to, I'm going to reach for it, where my finger is right there. There's a hole right there. Best I can do for the moment. Where that spring goes. Now it's pretty easy. I mean, like 5-minute deal. So look how bad that is. I see light through it. So that's gonna be interesting. All right, let's drop this thing out of here. If y'all have access to a lift or hoist or something, I can't work on my back anymore down on the floor. Stays are gone. My back is gone. So having that transmission jack is woohoo. It's a Harbor Freight 1,100 pound rated. I did a video on it if you're interested in the jack. If you're not, you ought to be. I forgot the belt. I did. I forgot the belt. Let's go up a little. See if I can pull that out of there. Pull it forward. I left the guides on. I was able to slip past that one and that one. I ordered a new belt last night. Supposed to be here a couple days. Alright. Got a little rust repair to do here. I think they could make a deck that wouldn't rust out. Yeah, look at that thing is broken. Yep, baby. And that belt is sheared off. Alright. Are you ready for it? I'm bringing you in. This is going to need a plate here, bros and girls. I thought I could see daylight through there. But yeah, this baby's been maybe fixed a time or two. So, but I kind of saw it yesterday. I didn't think it's just going to be a just weld it back on kind of deal. So I should probably get these plastic guards off. Doesn't look like that's going to be too much of a issue. We'll blow the deck off with some air. Get the grass and the garbage out of it. We'll have to. This seemed to fit okay, but we'll need to figure out if it exactly went there. It's been welded and re-welded, and get some marks out here so we put that back where it's supposed to be. Again, I guess it was working where it was, so we could put it back. And I could get a little more creative of how this thing fits back together than just sticking it back on with welds or tech screws or, oh gosh, is that a sheetrock screw? Really? Golly gee. So yeah, I understand what happened is the deck's pretty good. They don't like rust out, but they're heavy and, you know, rough terrain and so forth. The mounts don't last. So it would have been good for me, you know, on just nice, fairly level lawn and so forth. But most people are mowing acreage with these things, so they're going to suffer over time. So I'll kind of show you what I end up with this. We'll get it cleaned up. We'll get this thing redone. We'll get the rust knocked down and get this thing kind of treated up. Probably just going to paint it, put it back. Again, it's a keeper. Rest of the tractor's real nice. Let's make this real nice. I'll check back with you when I got something to show you. So I just took an air nozzle and a gasket scraper, and well, most of the paint came off. Even where it wasn't rusty underneath, I think they've got a heck of a problem with their paint adhering to their steel. There doesn't appear to be any primer of any kind under it or whatever. It's kind of a not really galvanized, kind of a pre-gal finish, but the paint not adhering to it is trapping moisture under it, and that's what's causing all the rust. So they've got probably a decent deck, but the rust is basically caused from the paint not sticking. So we'll do what we can. I'm not going to sandblast this whole thing and rebuild it, although that would be real nice. I'm just not going to take the time, but I'm getting the screws out of this thing. So just a couple more screws and get rid of these L brackets. I was kind of concerned about getting it lined up back in place, but I see what's happened is this whole section had pulled out, and they actually moved it over so they could attach it again. So getting it lined up shouldn't be an issue. Getting it cleaned up so I could get a good weld might be an issue, but we'll see what happens. We'll go from there. We'll get another gusset or two or something in there to give it some strength. All right, let me fiddle around with it. I'm just showing you what I got to work with, what little I have to work with, and we'll get a good fix on it. All right, see you in a bit. Well, I got to fit back in here best I can with the way everything is and what metal is left. It's enough to get a weld on it. I'll have to fill in some gaps, and then we'll put some additional steel at this thing and brace it. Some flat bar or something. Figure it out once we get it welded in. See what that next step is. The deck is pretty decently thick. Can't go crazy with it, but should be able to do a pretty good job. Get it back in there. And then it'll be the bracing that adds the overall added strength and rigidity. The other one looks okay, so it'll probably be good to go with that. Alright, I'm going to go grab a bite, come back and get this welded, get it braced, and we'll start cleaning up the rest of the deck enough to get some paint on it. Alright, see you in a bit. This finished product, I guess I gotta say I'm pretty happy with it. The metal was still pretty thick. I didn't have to walk on eggshells welding it. Nice big thick heavy beads. I stuck a piece of angle iron right there where the metal was missing. Fully welded the angle, got it all the way around. This thing's in good shape, and they only like welded the other one, you know, like inch long welds here and there, so they weren't even fully welded. So I probably have twice the weld that it came with, plus a little brace, so it's good to go. I took a wire brush to the rust, just a little bitty 1-inch diameter on a long extension on my drill, and got rid of most of the rust. This paint's still flaky here and there, but I got what I got. It's just a mower deck, so I'm not gonna get too crazy with it. I'm gonna get it wiped down. Gonna douse it in wax and grease remover because it's really dirty. And then I have a rust converter I will use on the rusty areas. Remember, a rust converter really only works on rust. Don't put it on paint or metal that's not rusty. Converter doesn't know what to do with all of that. So I'm just going to put it on the rusty areas with a brush. And I'm going to look around and see if what I got for yellow paint. I have a little bit of spray paint that's John Deere yellow, but I'm wondering how close like a Rust-Oleum yellow is. If it's way off, I'll probably go get some paint, and I think I will just brush this. That'll be easier. Alright, I'll check with you when I get something to show ya. Okay, here's the rust converter we're going to use. This Rust Sergeant. This comes from a company in Southern Oregon that restore vintage military. Let that thing focused. They're in Central Point, Oregon. Find them at vintagejeeps.com or g503.com. Alright, I've got other videos on this product. Damn good product. Get some, use it. Alright, I'm just going to pour some in this cup. Just a cheapy little brush, and we'll get to getting. So this stuff has a consistency of like thick milk. It smells like Elmer's glue. I only put like 1/4 of a cup in there. It's not, the idea is not the more the merrier here, it's just the coverage. And then you can see it turns this rust black. And it won't be long here, half an hour, and we can paint it. It's a primered surface. Again, this comes from a company in Southern Oregon that restores military equipment. They sell this to their customers. I've seen demonstrations on it. I know there's other products out there. You don't need to tell me about them. This is what I've seen demos on, what I have been using for the last couple of years. I'm not switching. I bought a significant quantity of this. I believe I have 3 or 4 gallons of it. That's what it took to get free shipping, and I hate to pay for shipping, so I bought a lot. so I don't ever run out. And that's that. I recommend it, but use what you want. I know there's other stuff, but I like this stuff a lot. And again, in half an hour or so, we'll be painting this deck. Couple little spots over here and we'll be done with this. The primer, or the converter portion anyway. Again, just use it on the rust. It doesn't know what to do with paint or shiny metal, but it will take care of the rust quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay, that's about it. I am messing around now. Need to get a little primer on the welds there. I do have some Rust-Oleum yellow in a quart. I assume there's paint in that can. So I can kind of compare the colors. If it's close, we're using it. Yeah, this thing's not prepped that great, but we're just trying to make it not rust and make it presentable. So let me check back with you in a half hour or so, where we go to the next refinish here. Alright, I found a can of spray paint. John Deere yellow, whole can. So I guess we'll go with that. The only thing that really shows are these two sides, so try to make those two sides nice as can be, and then the rest of it, well, whatever. It'll be presentable, right? Presentable. My favorite word. So you better work. No. Don't you love it when the can goes to heck? I'll call it a brand new can. Who knows how long it's been sitting on my shelf. But just when you need it. Alright, let me see if I can clear this tip or not. Dang her. Well, that's a bummer. Now I gotta go get some. I got enough time. Store's open. Let me show you what I'm doing over here though. We'll get these painted and let these get drying. These are those two plastic caps. And they're all faded out. So if my antique can of Flex Seal will hang on, these will come out real nice. I've used this on other projects. Even have some videos where I've used this. Really like the finish on stuff like this. Hopefully this works. Right. Well, this thing's dry. It'll look like new. I'll bring you in on a little closer down periscope. What do you think? Looks good, right? Yeah, try that stuff for plastic covers, lids, hoods, shoot, about anything. Gives you a really nice finish. Real tough. Hides a lot of sins. Alright, looks like I gotta go to the farm store. And I've been wheeling and dealing on another Honda generator for days. The guy finally decided to take my offer, so I need to get this deck painted and go pick up another project. Alright, off to the store. Alright gang, we got some paint on it. We weren't worried too much about it. It's primed and rust is converted and stuff. Should last pretty good. There's the repaired support tower. I welded in the holes from the sheetrock screws. Yeah, looks fine. A little overspray there, we'll wipe that off. These things turned out excellent. Again, this side and the other side really all that show. And they look fine. Fine. So the belt should be here tomorrow, I think. So no reason to put it back in at this time. So I'll put it back in after I get the belt, hopefully tomorrow. And then I think the next day I got a Husqvarna or something to work on. A similar engine, I think, as is in this John Deere. We have to replace the camshaft. The compression release doesn't work, and I guess that's a camshaft. So we got to pull the motor out of that thing, take it apart, place the cam, put it back together, put it back in. Apparently it's only a couple years old. Belongs to a church, so we'll get it going for him, and that'll be good. All right, gang. Thanks for coming along on this ride. There'll probably be another video, maybe two, on this as the other parts and stuff roll in. We'll get it tuned up properly. The headlights don't work, but I diagnosed those this morning to be the ignition switch, so I ordered one of those. Then we'll get the headlights working, and that's about it. This thing gonna be ready to roll, so pretty cool. Didn't have to spend much money on it. That's awesome. Catch you guys on the next video. Give it a thumbs up on your way out the door. It's absolutely free to you, but that helps me get this video seen by others, and we'll catch you down the road.